everyone, Jem here and welcome to my creative space. Hi everyone and welcome back to the next Ephemerember video. So those of you who, hopefully by now everybody knows what we're talking about, and if not, I will leave a link down in the description box below. But Ephemerember is a challenge run by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louise Heinzel, and we get a prompt each day for 4 days a week in December, and the prompt is to make a piece of ephemera for your journal. So without further ado, today we are on number 5, which is snippet roll and woven flowers. So snippet roll and woven flowers. Now, for me, living in New Zealand, woven flowers, I immediately go to our native flax plant. And there's two main species of types of flax. Let me get that right. Two main types of flax in New Zealand. There's the common flax and the mountain flax. Common flax grows in most places actually, and gets up to 3 meters tall with big flower spikes that are 4 meters. And what I will do, I'll cut a little video in here because at the moment we have all the flax in our garden flowering, and it's amazing. The flowers have nectar in them and it attracts the birds like the tuis and the bellbirds, who are nectar eaters, and so they come and enjoy those. But I'll pop in a picture of the flax plant and the flowers in a moment. Flax plant and the flowers in a moment. Okay, so here we have our flax, and as you can see, it comes in different colours. Mountain flax is smaller than common flax and tends to grow at higher altitudes, hence its name. Only gets to about 1.6. But within each type of flax there's lots of different colours, and you will find some have softer leaves and some have firmer leaves. But the flax is an ancient plant, and Maori, who are the indigenous people of New Zealand, have used flax for centuries as weaving, making ropes, baskets, all sorts of things. And the Maori art of weaving is known as raranga. So today, and in all honesty, one of the first things that you're taught when you start to learn this particular form of Maori art is you learn to make a flower. And today I'm going to stick with the simplest type of flower to make, which is this one. And one of the reasons I'm going to stick with this, although I can do slightly more complex ones, this one lays flat, as you will see, and so to pop in a journal it's absolutely ideal because it's not a 3D object. So a lot of the woven flowers and baskets and things are obviously 3D, whereas this flower, as well as being reasonably simple, is lays flat. Alright, so I'm going to be doing some of those to start off with. As you can see, I've collected some different types, different colours of flax from my garden. I also have these beautiful leaves, which are not actually flax. They are more of, the name's gone, I'll put it up on the screen when I remember. But the leaves have a similar texture, and whilst I've not tried weaving with them before, I'm going to have a go with those as well. So I'm going to do a few of these before I start anything else, and then I'm going to think about how to incorporate those into my journal with a snippet roll. But first off, we'll have a really simple, we'll make some really simple flowers. All right, so I'm going to start with this piece of flax here. Now there's a whole special set of tikanga, or customs and ways of being and doing when you pick flax. But you could equally do this with, I think, paper, or any other type of strong leaf that you have, I think. Now, as you can see, the flax splits really nicely, and I'm going to do several flowers, but I'm going to start with this piece, and we're just going to split it quite evenly into two, about, gosh, I don't know, what's that, about 50 centimetres. And we're going to start down here. I'm going to take the back one, I'm going to fold it under like that, and then the next one comes under again, and the next one comes under again. Now as you get round to here, you lift up so that you're sitting in front of what is going to become the stalk, and you simply keep going round. I'm going to move my snippet roll which is sat there, taking that underneath one and bending it round. I find it easier to turn as I go, and you're just making sure that each time it's sitting on top of the previous layer. So as I say, if you attended on a class, this is often one of the first things you're taught to make. And a flower is a putty putty, which I always think is a pretty word, putty putty. So we're making harakiki putty putty today, flax flowers. And as I say, flax was, it's very fibrous and it makes incredibly strong rope. And in fact, flax was one of the biggest exports from New Zealand until I think it was wool and perhaps timber that took over. But for a long time it was the biggest export from this country. So you simply keep, and you can see it's getting smaller and smaller. Okay, it's a little bit fiddly right at the end here. And you can stop at any time and it will stay there, or you can keep going until you get right to the end of these bits. So as I say, if you've got some stiff paper, I'm pretty sure that you could do the same thing. I might try for another project, I might try with some, just thinking it would be nice with a colourful gel print, wouldn't it? You'd have to have both sides of the paper gel printed. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. So there's two, and you can see this is a variegated flax. This is a plain one. So there's two of our harakiki flowers. Now I wouldn't normally do this, but given that this is going in a journal, I may trim this bit down. But let's do some more. And I've remembered the name of the red leaves. This is more of a cordyline rather than true flax, but I'm going to give that a go and we'll see how that works out. So you can watch along whilst I do another one. Okay, so already I can tell this splits slightly differently to the flax, so we'll just be a little bit careful and we'll see how we get on. As I say, this is so that's got quite thin there, so I'm going to stop there. I might actually get the other half of the leaf because that hasn't split evenly, so I'm going to get the other half of the leaf and see if I can get a more even split, because I would really like some of this lovely red colour in the journal. But as I say, I've not tried with these cordyline before. I've only ever used the harakiki. So let's see if we can get a bit more of an even split. And I would never do this with the harakiki for many reasons, but I'm going to just split down the middle of this one with the craft knife just to get a bit more of an even, there we go, a more even split. So I'm going to try exactly the same thing, and you can see already it's a bit more floppy than the harakiki, but we will give it a go. Okay, so because these leaves are quite a bit softer than the flax, that is getting really fiddly. So I'm going to leave those for now, and I'm going to think about how to finish those off. And one of the other things I've noticed is, whereas you can see the flax is quite stiff at the bottom, and you can imagine if you were to put this in a vase they would stand upright, whereas the cordylines are much softer, and so you would struggle to stick these in a vase and have them stand upright. But they're going to be fine for the purpose of going in a journal. So there we go, we have three. I'm going to make a couple more and then we'll come back and see what I'm going to do with them. So as you can see, I've got 5 of those woven flowers now, the putty putty, and the next step is to see how I'm going to incorporate those into my journal with a snippet roll. So I'm just going to pop them to the side for a moment, and what I might do in a minute is trim some of those stems down, because obviously they're not going to fit into my journal. So let's have a look. Now I've got a snippet roll here, and I'll link the video just up there, because I made this recently, because I have to be honest, until I started to look at the prompts for this December challenge, I had never made a snippet roll, and so I had a go at making one, and made a little video along with it. So I'm going to choose a piece of this snippet roll, and it only goes to about there at the moment, decorated. So I'm going to choose a piece of this and a page in my journal, and we'll take it from there. I have a bit of an idea in my head what I want to do, so I'm just looking for a suitable page. So I think this might work, and this is quite a nice page to go with the flax flowers. This is a book page from, I think it's Country Diary, an Edwardian lady. But I quite like the U on here, and we'll see. So I've got a couple of options as well. I've got some really lovely painty papers that were sent to me by a lady called Natasha, and we recently did a swap of some scraps, as well as some other things. So there's a few here that she sent me that have got a nice green type background. I think I might go with this one. I'm just looking at the flax colours, and I think that sort of goes with the flax best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this, and I'm going to line this page here, and then my thought is to make this into a pocket with the snippet roll, and then put the flax flowers in the pocket. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I realised that's probably quite an unconventional way of using the snippet roll, in that you're meant to snip a piece off and use, but I've never been one for convention really, and I quite like that. It's decorated that pocket nicely. Now I'm going to, I've got my big secateurs here, and I'm going to trim these pieces so that they fit in like this. And I may just, I'm going to go across like that. Now I think I'm going to have to just be brutal and trim those pieces off, because they're going to stick up too much otherwise. But let's see if we can do that in a bit more of a organic fashion, if you like. There we go. Now, not sure how many we're going to use. As I say, I've got 5. A bit shorter. Does it need any more? I do have a slight concern about the bulkiness, because although these flowers are quite flat, they do have a certain amount of bulk, you know, when you close the journal. So I might just leave it at those 4, I think, and we've got some variation in colour there. And I think what I would like is something on here that just sort of starts to pick up some of these redder tones. So let's put a lid on the ink pad and have a hunt around and see what comes to me. So I've pulled out a few things. Nothing's really jumping out at me. I feel like it needs just a little bit more colour or something here. Right, so fussy cut that out. I put a little bit of sepia ink over it just to take away the white. And now we do battle to get the back of the sticker off. Oh, there we go. This is one of the reasons I don't use stickers very often, but occasionally they are useful. There we go. I think that's just a little bit of more of colour on there, and It's picking up the red on this opposite page. I'm still debating the butterfly. I think this one is too red. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it for now. I can always come back. Ooh. But I have just spotted a little bird which was in the same sticker set as the... No, I'm going to leave it. I'm happy with that. I'm going to find a number 5 because this is our 5th prompt and I'm keeping a record of what the prompts were. So I'll find a number 5 and be back. No red number 5s, but I have got a little green one here. I'm just going to ink the edges of this, and that is quite sticky. So I'm not going to do anything else with it except pop it down in this corner. There we go. So there's our prompt number 5. Now, that's the 3rd time that I've noticed that corner coming up. There we are. Okay, everybody, so there we go. We have prompt number 5 for Defemerember 2024. We have snippet roll and woven flowers. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. And until next time, ka kite anō.